5 ways to spot somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, from somebody that's medically qualified. That's me. Now, narcissism isn't the same as narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. Narcissists can be cheats, liars, treat you badly, selfish, all these things. Your ex might have been narcissistic to some degree. We can all be narcissistic to some degree. I do TikTok videos. But people with NPD are completely different because they don't feel the normal bonds of empathy, sympathy and love that the rest of us do. They rely entirely on external validation to get their ego inflated and to be happy. And because they don't form normal bonds with people, they can get rid of you quickly. When you're no longer of use to them, they'll get rid of you like you're a piece of junk. And because they've normally made you fall in love with them so that they get the external validation, it's a devastating thing. I had a 10-month relationship with somebody with NPD and it took me 12 months to get over them. If you're married to one or whatever, it can take a lot longer. So here are your 5 ways to spot them nice and early. Number 1, now, all of these things in isolation could be part of a normal relationship. So bear that in mind. But if you see more than one of these 5 things, then be suspicious. Now, the biggest hallmark of somebody with NPD is that they do push and pull. What they'll do is they'll be affectionate sometimes. They'll be your dream person because, remember, they are mirroring you. They are copying how you speak, your sense of humour. They may even pretend they're interested in the same sort of things that you are. So you'll feel this incredible connection with them. And that's how they hook you in the first place. But then they'll pull away. And this is to make you chase them. Okay? So you'll have this push-pull effect. And if that keeps happening, then you've got to be really on your guard and remember that somebody who's really genuinely interested in you, who's actually forming a proper connection with you for who you are, will be consistent with their affection. Number 2, always the victim. It's never their fault. You'll find that when they speak about any of their exes, and we're talking about somebody who's had a sample size of more than 2 exes here, because, you know, people can be swines and people's exes can be horrible. But if they're all horrible, if they're all crazy, if they're all stalkers, then there's a common denominator there, isn't it? The common denominator is the person that you're seeing. And bear in mind that if every ex was crazy, if every ex was a stalker, and the stalker thing is often because narcissists or people with NPD, discard you, so they get rid of you very abruptly. So if you try and get some closure from it, you're stalking them, you're harassing them, you're no longer of any use to them, they don't want to see you, they don't want to know you. So you're harassing them just by trying to get some closure. So often these people are not stalkers at all. So bear in mind, if somebody's got several exes, 5, 6, and they're all crazy, the next crazy ex will be you. Number 3. Now, most people with NPD are actually men. It's always men, isn't it? Sorry about that, ladies. But this is actually one for men to identify a female with NPD. And this is, I think this is unique to females. They'll often be a lot more attractive than you are. So I would imagine we all know roughly how attractive we are. Everybody does. I'd say I'm probably a 6. Some people might say I'm a 4, some people might say I'm an 8, but I'm in that kind of bracket. Now, if somebody's a 9 or a 10, okay, you may form that connection with them. It might be somebody like lots of guys, lots of us have had girlfriends who are, far too attractive for us in a way. They're 9s or 10s, but it's because we've known them for a while and we've formed a connection with them, so the looks thing becomes less important. It's about the personality. Or you've had to chase them. If a girl is a 9 or a 10 and you're not, and she's chasing you, and all her exes are not particularly attractive compared to her, it's because she knows that guys are relatively superficial, and if we get somebody that's out of our league, we fawn all over them. We go, oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. Whereas a guy that's a 9 or a 10, he could get another woman like her and he won't put up with her. So it's a common thing for female NPDs to always go with guys who are, not, well, actually, to be fair, the person I was with, one of our exes looked like, Robin Cook, the MP, looked like a Toby jug. But imagine him if you'd been hit in the face with a frying pan. That was one of our exes. So be very suspicious if somebody's exes are well beneath them in terms of looks. And if a really hot girl's chasing you, although it's nice for your ego, just think, this doesn't normally happen. So be on your guard, guys. 4. There may be a substantial gap between, say, your first date and then them suddenly showing a lot of affection for you and deciding to go out with you. And this is because in the interim you've been added to a roster. People with MPD don't like to be alone. They need external validation. So what they tend to do is line somebody up so that when they get fed up with the person they're with, they can go straight on to the next one. And that's what is happening if there's a big gap between you, say, having a first date and then maybe friend zoning or something, and then all of a sudden, like a tap, their affection's turned on, and that's because they've decided to move on to somebody else, and you've fitted the bill because you've shown enough interest in them. So again, somebody that's interested in you will show a consistent degree of affection and interest. 5, and lastly, the mask is going to slip at some point. Because remember, this person doesn't really love you. What they're doing is using you for external validation, for you to fawn all over them, for you to be affectionate towards them. They'll do everything they can to make you fall in love with them. But there will be odd moments when you're all loved up and then all of a sudden she's acting as if she doesn't care about you at all. Or he. As I say, it's more likely to be a he, to be fair. And that's the real them. That's where you're going to see at the end of the relationship. That's the mask slipping. Again, it's not consistent degrees of affection. So all of these things could happen in a normal relationship, but if you're seeing more than one of them, I'd be very suspicious. And to be honest with you, you'd probably get out. Somebody that really likes you will like you for who you are, will be consistent with their affection, will make you feel safe. If you feel kind of on your guard all the time, if you feel, I'm not quite sure where I stand, if some moments they seem to be the best person you've ever met, and then others they're pulling away, if you're always kind of thinking, oh, I don't know, and you feel dysregulated about it, get out. Just get out. Trust me. I was a doctor. Can't believe I just used that line, sorry.